What's up everyone, I'm in my room right now and I just wanted to give a little message before this video starts. This is a little different from my normal video. I will be doing a voiceover and explaining through some of the coolest mansions either I've explored or want to explore. I hope you guys enjoy this kind of different style of content. I know it was a lot of fun making it, and let's just jump right into the video. FINDEL Mansion, located in Colts Neck, New Jersey, also known as the Zombie Mansion. It's a 20,000 plus square foot home built in 2002 that once contained a gym, movie theater, barber shop, and even a ballroom and wine cellar. In 2009, the mansion was valued at $8 million. The owner, David FINDEL, was later charged with wire fraud as a part of a mortgage scam. He was netting his company more than $11 million in illegal profits. David caught the attention of the FBI with his lavish lifestyle, including this mansion, several vehicles, even spending $400,000 on special seats at a football game. He was later charged with bankruptcy fraud after falsely filing for bankruptcy in an attempt to conceal his assets from trustees and creditors. The FBI found more than 200,000 personal assets that he hid from the court. David ended up facing 20 years of prison but was released on $1 million bond. 2 years later, in 2011, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. He was to also pay a $12 million restitution, 3-year supervised release, and 480 hours of community service. But that's not all. Sadly, a few years later, somebody actually lit the house on fire and burnt it all the way to the ground. I explored this mansion thinking it was still up, but sadly when I got there, it was only a pile of rubble. Up next is the SELMA Plantation. It's a historic 20-room mansion located in Virginia. The home sits on 212 acres and was built in 1902 by Elijah Brokenborough White. To build the house, he hired the Norris brothers of Leesburg, who are very famous for their elaborate woodwork. Later, the house was sold to a well-known antique car dealer, Ben Epperson, and his wife Ruth in 1970. After Ben and his wife Ruth passed away, this 18,000 square foot home has not been lived in for over 16 years and has quickly fallen apart. The next mansion is Bloomfield Estate. It's a 23,000 square foot mansion designed by Horace Trumbauer. It has 19 bedrooms and was last sold in October 2001 for $2.3 million. But it was later up for sale in 2009 for $10 million. The house was even used in a Jason Statham movie titled Safe. This house also was later burned down, which was a part of a multi-million-dollar arson and fraud scheme. The scheme was committed by a Canadian businessman and his wife. The plan was to put down a $260,000 down payment, pay their monthly lease checks, and use other siphoned cash from a company on the verge of collapse. Then they wanted to move in and get a $5 million insurance policy for their belongings. The final plan went something like this. They wanted to dismiss the groundkeepers and disable the security system and security cameras. Then start a fire in the basement corner near the circuit breaker, one sure to engulf the rest of the mansion. Then wait a few months and stake their ownership claim. The alleged payoff would be more than $20 million in insurance proceeds, plus 7 acres of pristine property. This Canadian couple have been involved in a pattern of racketeering activity, including wire fraud, insurance fraud, even staged a break-in that made a company declare bankruptcy. After being proven guilty, the Canadian couple fled to Canada and have not returned to the United States since. I also explored this place, and it was sadly burnt when I got there. Something that still remains are the beautiful gardens sitting on the outside of this estate. Up next is the Gibraltar Mansion, which was once owned by Hugh Rodney Sharp and later traced to the DuPont family. The home was built in 1844 by John Rodney Brinkle, grandnephew of Delaware's first governor, and then in 1909 the house was purchased by Hugh Rodney Sharp and his wife Isabella DuPont Sharp, a member of the DuPont family. The house's interior is decorated with works by Albert Ely Ives. While I was exploring there a while back, I found a few safes inside, cool furniture, and some awesome staircases and other architecture inside. I also had the opportunity to film the awesome gardens out front. After the family passed away, the house has been sitting for over 30 years. They've even had ideas to make it into a hotel, but they were quickly shut down. Last but not least is Linwood Hall. It is a 110 neoclassical room mansion located in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania. Built in 1897, it was designed by Horace Trumbauer for Peter Widener. The house sits on 34 acres and is currently owned by the Korean Church of New York. However, it is not in use by that church and remains abandoned. The house included 55 bedrooms, a large art gallery, a ballroom large enough for 1,000 guests, a swimming pool, wine cellars, farms, carpentry and upholstery studios, and even an electrical power plant. Time magazine described Linwood as a palace, containing Persian rugs, Chinese pottery, the halls crammed, dripping with silk velvet and gilded moldings, the rooms furnished with chairs from Louis XV, and the walls covered with art by Raphael, Rembrandt, El Greco, Van Dyck, and Donatello. The owner of the house, Peter A.B. Widener, was an investor in RMS Titanic with White Star Line and J.P. Morgan. Later, Peter's oldest son and his grandson both died in the Titanic sinking of 1912. The property is currently on the market for $17 million as of June 2017. They estimate it could take anywhere from $10 to $50 million to restore it to its former glory. As you guys know, I've been to Linwood Hall a ton of times. It is probably the coolest place I've ever explored in my entire life. Some of the drone shots you were seeing right now I took, so if you haven't seen them yet, I'm going to give you a minute to check some of them out. They have made some progress on cleaning up the place. As you can see, it is more cleared out, not as much woods and sticks and just overgrown. So they have cleaned it up a bit, but sadly it still remains vacant and is currently still just rotting away. Alright everyone, so I think that's going to wrap it up. That is the 5 most incredible abandoned mansions in my eyes. Some places I've explored, some place I want to get to and explore someday. If you guys like this kind of video, drop a like on the video and also let me know down in the comments. I know I don't have like the most clear voice, so this was definitely harder to do for me, but I tried. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Also, I know I've been talking about it a lot, but the merch is coming soon. I'm getting some more female designs, maybe in like a tank top because it is summertime. So please be on the lookout for the merch. I'm going to drop some of the designs I already made on the screen right now. Follow all my social medias down below. Check everything out. A lot of stuff's coming soon. A ton of videos coming soon, so be on the lookout for that. Also, something that I forgot to talk about, I do have a Patreon. You can check it out. The link will be on the screen and in the description below. It's a donation site that helps me out tremendously. Based off what you donate, you get prizes for it, whether it be merch, talk to me, Snapchat, stuff like that. So you do get rewarded for what you donate, so it's not just like a donation page. So be on the lookout, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.